Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of Hamilton Icons. I am your host and local real estate agent, Justin Little, and today I have a very special guest that I am really excited for. I am joined by Michael Hart, who is the founder of the High Value Collective. Mike, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we made it work. You came in last week. We had some studio booking issues, and I appreciate you coming back in to get this done. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of value there with the High Value Collective. So why don't we start with that? Do you want to explain what the High Value Collective is?
Yeah, so it's going to be a movement. It's something I started so that I could help people. My main focus is to help men who are, struggling with life. They're struggling with anything from, mental health or addiction, or, they could be doing quite well in most areas of their life, and they need a hand up in a few other areas. We're happy to cover anything, really, for the most part.
I like it. So it's kind of like a life coaching program.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. I've basically, everything that I've learned and unlearned, over the last 20 years or so, I've compressed all of that into a program so that, I can help anybody who needs it. Anything from if, people want to commit to 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, even 12 months, I'm happy to walk alongside anybody that's seeking help in any way.
I love it. So, I mean, obviously something sparked you to get into this field. Do you want to talk a little bit about the journey to founding this?
Yeah, sure. I've always liked helping people, man. There was a few instances where like a light bulb kind of went off in my head. And one of them was about like 20 years ago. I was at a get together with a bunch of people from a church I was going to at the time, and somebody brought up legacy, and then somebody else thought it would be a good idea that we all talk about our legacy and how we want it to be remembered by the people around us. And mine came to my mind within a few seconds, and I thought, yeah, I'll say that. And once everybody started sharing their thoughts on the legacy that they wanted to be remembered by, I thought, like, well, I can't say my thing anymore. And I thought, you know what, it got to me. I thought, screw it, I'm just gonna say it. And at the time, I thought, like, I just want to make millions and millions of dollars so that I can help people around the world. And at the time, like, I was thinking more finance focused, in a sense where, I can help people with this amount of money or help people with that amount of money or whatever. But over the next 20 years into now, I found I want to help men specifically learn how to be men, more or less. It took me a while to get there, and a lot of trial and error, a lot of hardships and obstacles that I would have loved to have saved myself from. So now I've put this program together so that I can help guys, get to where they want to be without the unnecessary hardships, without any unnecessary pain that they might be going through, and hopefully have them, live and lead an easier journey than what I had. Other than that, I mean, I remember there was this one really successful businessman that I met, and we were talking. It was just a casual conversation. We weren't even really talking business or anything, but the way he was talking and the way he was carrying himself, his demeanor, I walked away from that conversation feeling inspired. Like, he wasn't even trying to inspire me. He was just talking. He was just being himself. And I walked away from that conversation thinking, that's what I would love to be one day, who I would love to be and who I would love to be for myself and for the people around me. So, as the years went on, it was only just something I did kind of casually. Like, people ask that question, if you won the lottery, what would you spend the rest of your days doing? And I remember when work slowed down with my painting business, so I had a lot more free time to like meet friends for lunch and coffees or spend time catching up with people. And most times, like, the both of us or whatever the group would leave the lunch feeling great. And then that hit me. That was like the third thing that hit me. I thought, this is what I would do. If I ever won the lottery, this is what I would do. I would spend my days just encouraging my friends, my family in any way that they needed, taking them out for lunch, taking them out for coffees, and just giving them a break from the grind or the hardships that life can bring.
I love it. There's so many ways that I want to take the conversation out from that, because A lot of great info. I like one of the first things you said was, make millions to help people around the world. And for some reason, the first thing that popped in my head was like, so many people think I want to make millions so I can go see the world, right? Like
Yeah.
such a different
Yeah.
mindset there, right? And then also when you're talking about, helping people, cutting that path to make it a bit easier. I think a lot of people underestimate the power of coaches and how big of an impact that can have, right? Like, you're able to help people with those shortcuts. But even we brought up the one question about what would you do if you won the lottery? And I think that's such a huge question because it's like, okay, what would I like? It really makes you think. What would I do, right? Like, I think some people think, oh, I would just go sit on a beach or something. But what would you do after a week, two
Yeah.
weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like realistically,
Yeah.
And I mean, the fact that you're doing something that is a calling to you is really, really cool to see that. And I think, going back to the coaching part of it, like we were kind of having this conversation last week too about how, you look at all the great athletes out there, like Michael Jordan had a coach, LeBron had a coach. I was going to say Gretzky, but I don't know if we can talk about him anymore,
Yeah.
but Ovechkin,
Yeah. I was just thinking
Ove-
that. Yeah.
Ovechkin had a coach,
Yeah.
right? And people don't realize, that you need that, right? And to have that somebody there to help guide you down the path, right? So what kind of like did the early steps of your business look like when you're kind of getting this off the ground?
Yeah, so the early steps were just starting an Instagram page. It took me a couple of months to even get that started. I'm the type of person where if I'm going to say I have an offer, a valuable offer, I want to have it fully ready. I want all the kinks worked out. I want everything set in place before I present that offer. But the thing is that was what was stopping me from starting the business. What I'm finding is that there's so much to learn in a sense of just getting things ready between the apps you need, the software you need, the content that you need to create, the equipment that you need for that content. Once I have clients, the apps that I'm going to use to make things run smoothly in our communication together. And I got to a point where it was like never ending. Even once I learned some of this stuff, there's always something more to learn, and I still wasn't starting. And I got to a point where I thought, well, you know what, just start the page and just make a few videos just as it feels right to whatever comes to my mind, share on this, that, and the other thing. And that'll at least get people familiar with you. I wasn't expecting to get any clients for the next couple of months minimum, and we landed a client in the first week and a half, and then two more after that. And my phone's ringing off the hook in the last couple of weeks, especially for meetings with people, whether they come on board or not. I'm just happy to be talking to people and getting things rolling. So it's just like any other business I started. Like you just start it, and you kind of learn to fly on your way down. And I'm overwhelmed with the support that I've gotten so far. It's been absolutely amazing. We're just rolling with the punches. We're trying to minimize those punches, but things are going exceptionally well so far. And I'm having a great time out here.
That's great. Listen, looks like you're having a great time. And it's good that you're able to roll things out and just kind of have that engagement right away, right? And I mean, like you were saying, you're getting a lot of support. And I feel like when you get stuff like that always happens to people that oftentimes they deserve that kind of support. Like there's something the way you've carried yourself or you've, conducted yourself in the past, people feel like, Mike's doing this. I want to help him out and support him, right? It's kind of a testament to you as a person and the impact you've already had on people,
Yeah.
which I think carries over into the business, especially when it comes to like the business you're in is a lot of communication and talking and all that. You almost got caught up in the trap that a lot of people do where you try to make something perfect before you launch it, right? Whereas there's the saying, I got my Rolodex of quotes, like imperfect action is better than perfect action. And I think that that's so true. I can do a lot of things in my business that way as well, where I know if I wait to try to make it perfect, it's not gonna go. And that's why then I took another quote from, I don't know who said this. I should just start claiming that I say these quotes. The ready, fire, aim, where instead of ready, aim, fire, it's like ready, then shoot, and then find the
We'll figure it out after.
figure it out, right? And then we'll try to, hit the target. And I think that's such a powerful skill that you have. right? To do that. I guess, what are some of the fun things that you enjoy about the business?
Fun things I enjoy about the business. Not knowing what's coming next, but knowing that it's going to be good. I've had quite a few extensive conversations with a few friends, a few clients, and it's not always nice. Like, it's not always a walk in the park for me or them. Like, my heart goes out to people who are suffering, and like, I wish I could just download everything that I've learned in the last 20 years, grab a hold of their hand and just pull them and say, let's go. This, like, I know this stuff that can help you, but I know it's a journey, and it can be extremely hard, especially when a guy confronts himself and does this kind of inner work that he needs to do. But overall, I would say 10 times out of 10 so far, we can go through the grueling conversations, we can go through the hard parts, but the person leaving the meeting or the conversation at least feeling better and uplifted in that moment with hope to move forward in their journey that's fun for me. I like taking somebody who came to me who's down and out, they're not feeling well, and we've helped them in that moment, and now they have like a level to walk on where, of course, this is a journey, it's a process. They're going to fall back down again, as does everybody. But like, they at least know, they have a knowledge of that new level that they can walk at. And what I tell my guys is to like, keep practicing this, keep trying. It's, especially the guys that are into fitness, they have a great understanding for it. When you illustrate mindset to fitness, like, they've got these big muscles and they look great. They didn't get that overnight. It took years of hard work and dedication to get there. And the same thing is with your mindset. When I'm teaching somebody or showing something new that they've never seen before, they'll get down on themselves because they're not getting it right away. And you just remind them that this is a process too. We're gonna strengthen your mind. You're gonna get strong. You're not gonna be worried about the things that you're worried about today, tomorrow per se. But it's gonna take some practice, and it's gonna take consistency and strength of trying and trying again.
That's a really good, the comparison of the fitness versus the mindset, I think, is so powerful, because your brain is like a muscle, your mind's a muscle, right? And that's the best way to say it is, you didn't get there overnight you didn't become super fit overnight. And your brain is something, your mindset is also something that you need to train. And every day too. It's not like you can just listen to some affirmations
No,
on YouTube once and be
no.
like, all right, I
Yeah.
got this. Like, you might have it for that day, but if you're not constantly putting that into your head, like good food in your body, if you're not constantly putting it in there, it's going to go away. You're going to lose those benefits, right? Yeah.
And that's another thing I incorporate into the program is like the benchmarks, the core pillars are fitness, mindset, and nutrition. Like you said, just like you need to put healthy things into your body, to build muscle or to do whatever you want to do with your body. You need to be putting healthy things into your body. And the same goes for your mind. Like, you need to be eating well. If you're eating junk all the time, like, God knows I'm known as the dessert king around the Hamilton restaurant scene. And, that's fun while it lasted. I'm getting brain fog. Like, I'm getting inflammation in my joints and whatever. I had to put a stop to that and take it easy for a bit, because it literally will cloud your mind, right? And your mindset. So, I'm doing a bit better these days, but every once in a while you put a good tiramisu or the Billy Miner pie from the
The
keg.
keg.
Like, I can't help it, man.
That Billy Miner pie is so good.
Oh yeah.
It's always got to be somebody's birthday when you go there, right?
Oh,
When you
it's
get
always
it.
my
Yeah.
fake birthday when I go there.
It's so good though. I love that thing. Just one fork. But it's true. Like, when you're talking about nutrition, one thing I want to bring up too is, I know you're not drinking anymore, right? If we get to talk about it, which I love any chance to bring that up. I like to bring that up in a podcast because it's something that really changed my life and the direction of it when I stopped drinking. So what did that journey look like for you?
Whoa. Once I stopped.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Well, yeah, I stopped because I've drank enough for seven or eight lifetimes. So, people ask me why I stopped drinking. I tell them I didn't stop drinking, or I didn't quit drinking. I quit being hungover. It was to a point where I've had enough fun, probably too much, and it was getting in the way of a lot of things, getting in the way of my goals, getting in the way of my lifestyle, and I got to a point where like enough was enough. I was sick and tired of my own stuff and what was going on. And I mean, the goals that I've had over the course of my life, they're going to be hard enough to attain sober. So to incorporate drinking of any kind for me, I don't even want to miss one day. If I miss a day of productivity because I've been working too hard, or I, stayed out late having fun with friends or whatever, that's one thing. But if I lose one more single day to drinking or partying of any kind, I won't have it. And it feels good to feel good. Like I still wake up grateful to not be hungover, and I'm just loving the way things are going at the moment. And I love what I'm looking forward to, and what's coming and what I can see on the horizon. As far as like the benefits go, I'm still learning all of them. I can go on forever. The benefits that I've learned, that I've felt, that I can see ahead of me far outweigh any reason for me particularly to drink. Like I'm not against it. There's plenty of people out there that some of my closest friends, they'll still tie one on like crazy till the late hours of the night. And, if you can do that and it's not impacting your life in a negative way and you're happy, then all the power to you. Can't expect everyone to stop just because I've stopped, but I needed to stop and, not walk in the same path as some of my friends who are even doing great, but I had to stop, and I'm thankful I stopped.
And that's true. Like, I'm glad you stopped too. It's always good to stop, right?
Yeah.
Because you get this momentum when you stop that I think people that, I know when I drank, you'd get on a roll with something, but then you'd go out, you'd party, and then maybe Monday you're not feeling as good as you would have. And then that momentum, you start to lose it over time, right? And I find that when you stop, you're able to kind of exponentially grow that momentum, like just keep it going, keep the ball moving, right? I mean, you're still gonna have down days, but it's different than being a hungover day where you actually can't do anything because you're just incapacitated from the hangover, right? Or you're trying to do stuff and you just feel like
You feel horrible. Yeah. I don't like it.
it's awful. But like you said, I got friends too that drink, and I mean, they'll go out and it doesn't seem to bother them, right? Like they can just keep it going. Yeah, but I'm like, identify with the, I had to stop.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing I love too is like the opportunities that I think are being presented to me in general in the last couple of years, even that I don't think would have necessarily revealed themselves if I was still drinking. Like I'm walking into rooms with people that I don't think I would have had the opportunity to have an audience with these particular people if I was still drinking. Not on the level that we're all at anyways. And that's one of the things that I look forward to when I wake up in the morning. I mean, obviously, like I'll think about my day and okay, I got to deal with this and that, whatever. But for the most part, I'm like I'm waking up thinking like, what's gonna happen today? Like whatever it is, it's gonna be good.
Anything can happen.
And I love it. Like, and I'm going to be clear-minded when it happens, and whatever it can be, I'm going to be in a good mindset and in a certain level of control should something happen, whether it's good or bad. Like I can wake up knowing whatever it is, I'm going to handle it well, or as well as I can anyway.
Well, you know what? It's having the clear mind helps. Like
Yeah.
it does because if I don't know what you were like when you drink, but like if I started drinking at like 7 or 8 or something, like if something happened, I'd be like, well, I can't deal with this now, right? Like I'm drinking. Like you don't just lose the next day, you lose the night of or the day of, right? If you're going somewhere in the afternoon, having a few beers at a barbecue or something. So you lose that, right? But then it also helps you build that consistency every morning where it's a lot easier to build a morning routine to help strengthen your day when you know that you're getting up every morning. Like you can, it's not like, oh, I'm going to be hungover tomorrow, I'm just going to skip it, right? And like I used to be like that. Like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. Like I'm huge on a 45. I'd be like, I'm going to go there. And I might do it for like a week, 2 weeks. And then I'd go out and party and then I'm going to skip it or I'll go later. But then you're not working as hard. And it just, then that's like snowball effects.
For sure.
Right.
And that's another thing that I love is like the consistency. of how I'm feeling on a daily basis. Like, back when I was drinking or partying all the time, it was like, high highs, low lows. And even when I'm out, even still, like I'm just generally peaceful and consistent. And I still have friends or people out while I'm out asking me like, are you having a good time? Like you're not drinking and you're having a great time? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I feel great. I'm feeling great right now. I'm having fun with you guys, and I'm gonna feel great tomorrow morning when I wake up, and I'm gonna keep feeling good.
You get to watch the shenanigans. You get to
Yeah, yeah, well, that's one thing is that's definitely fun is, like, you watch the party, start I observe, I'm an observer, I love it. I can go to a cafe on like, a Saturday morning in the summer and just sit on the patio and just look at people and just watch people. So when I'm out with my friends, like, I watch the party, I watch it start, everybody's chilling, and, it goes up and up and up and up and up, and it climaxes, and then it starts, into the later hours, it starts to teeter off a bit. And that's when I start to make my exit. It's like, "Okay, I gotta be up early tomorrow." Even if I don't have to be up early, I'm up early.
there's no better feeling than leaving at the peak. Like, that's
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's great, right? Like, people associate you with the climax of the party. Like, everyone's having a great time, and it's just like, "Alright, we'll see you later," and then you just I don't you're always leaving on a good note.
yeah, it's true. It happened to me on Saturday night. I was at a party and, it was a bunch of Polish guys and, like, middle-aged, older Polish guys too, so these guys were just they were going, right? And it was fun, but then I got to the point where people started talking a bit stupid, and I was like, "Okay, this is, I gotta get out of here." And that's the benefit because I think if you're drinking, you probably just participate in it,
Well,
right?
that's just it, right? And it's like when you get to those later hours, like I'll start thinking, even if I'm having a great time and I don't want to leave, I'll still leave because I'll think to myself, like, these guys aren't out here doing anything that I haven't already done 1,000 times. Whether it's a great time, I've been here 1,000 times. Like unless I feel something is like I'm a protector at heart as well for my friends. So my team, we're a bunch of great guys. Nobody's ever out here looking for trouble. But if you're out there and sometimes it can find you. So if there's something ever kind of brewing, I try to de-escalate that if I have to, or just kind of stick around a bit, make sure everybody's okay. But then even then, I get to a point where it's like this isn't really my problem. I'm not for this. I'm going home to bed.
Well, that's a good look to have for sure. Let's circle back to the business a little bit. So, what are some of the challenges that you find with your business?
So far, I would say posting, even so far. Like, I have to remind myself that who I am is going to attract a certain type of person, that I'm not going to be covering everybody all the time. So I'll have thoughts where it's like, oh, I could talk about this or I could say that. And it's like, well, that might piss off some people. And I just won't do it. Or I'll second guess myself. Or that's also never ending. Then I just remember that I just got to post the content, that it doesn't matter. But I think other than, the obvious with learning the business, learning how to, even get leads one day, or how to create an infrastructure that will hold the amount of clients that I want. Like ideally, I would love to be coaching coaches one day. I would love for somebody to come to my program, benefit from it, and have them take that program and help other people with it. Right. So, but for now, like, and I ran the numbers, I thought like how many clients, how many people can I handle in a day or in a month, sustain my livelihood, and still have a life at the same time. And whether we look at it as realistic or unrealistic, I came up with the number, I think 26 clients a month. And I realized real quickly, like, that's a lot of time just for the clients, just to meet them and talk with them on a daily basis, on top of customizing like the general program that I have, and tailoring it to their specific needs, not to mention everything else that I'm learning as I go. So in my head, everything is easy in theory. Everything is like, yeah, I'm just going to do this and I'll read up on that and I'll take a course on content and building this and that and the other thing. And then once you start putting it into practice, it's like, okay, I'm really glad that I only have a few clients right now, because my main concern is making sure that they have my undivided attention, especially while I'm speaking with them, but also while I'm making notes, tweaking my program and figuring out how I can roll with them as the weeks go on, because I need that time to be able to be what they need me to be for them.
I think that's super responsible to look at it from that standpoint of how many clients can I handle without diluting the service, without, eliminating things. Because I think that's it's a great way to look at it. Because a lot of people look at something where I want to make this much money. How many clients do I need to make this much money? Not how many clients can I actually give my undivided time to? Because that's really responsible. Like that's really good, and eventually that could lead to the expansion of your business where you get maybe some coaches even under you coaching, like you said, right? And then coaching, whatever. That's a cool outlook. And I like how you said one of the challenges is posting. I think that's a challenge for every single person out there, except for people that their businesses, social media, like they're social media people that they love it and they're like, oh, I love posting. But for guys like me and you, like, I don't know, I'm not great at posting, but I know it's tough to get, and you're doing it super consistent too. And you're doing like content, like on the fly content. Mine are like clips of the show. Right? So mine's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Like I have clips scheduled from now. I think I got clips scheduled until November right now. So that's a lot easier than what you're doing, because you're doing the
Literally on the fly. Yeah. I would love to get to a place where it's scheduled and it's, I say pre-planned, but like I'm trying to stay as authentic as possible while realistically doing a little pre-planning so that I can have more time for the behind the scenes work and whatnot. But it's been fun nonetheless. Like, I've always generally been pretty hard on myself for the most part. I've gotten a lot better at that over the last couple of years for sure. But even with my posts, like I'll watch it and I'll think, oh, I don't like how my tone was at this part of it, or I don't like what I did here or what I did there. And I'll think, you know what, just post it. And I do. And then anybody who's going to resonate with it is going to resonate with it. I've had a bunch of conversations with a bunch of friends, some, not a bunch, but some who have become clients, and we'll get on the content, on to talking about the content. And even if they're not a client, like, it's new, so everyone's talking about it with me, and people are coming up to me like, thank you for posting that video. Like, it really touched me, and they're in tears. I can see him holding back tears as he's telling me. I'm fighting back tears as he's telling me, because I know that it reached him and it helped him. And like, that was a video I initially didn't want to post because of some stupid little mishap that only I noticed. Right? So I'm getting better at it. Like, I'm getting to a point where I just post it. Like, whatever. I got roasted in my last one. This is another example. It was a couple of pictures, and I had black shoes and black socks for these pictures, and I forgot them in my truck. And so we were running out of time. Me and my buddy, we were doing a thing, and I'm in these white shoes with these black socks, these blue jeans, and he says to me, he's like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, well, crop my feet out or something. Like, I'm not going back down to my truck. And then it looked funny with my feet again, I'm over analyzing everything and whatever. I'm gonna post it anyway. And I was fully expecting like a couple of women to point out like the fashion faux pas or whatever, and it was two of my buddies. And now it's a thing on my thread on my Facebook post, and everybody's laughing, and it's engagement. So whatever, it's good, it's fine.
That's hilarious. Social media is a wonderful place where you can try to like you just post some content and somebody's like, what are you wearing? What are you like, just publicly just throw it out there. And of course it's always your buddies, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I love it.
I think eventually you'll stop, like, because I've been doing it now for so long, video stuff. Like, eventually you'll just turn on the camera and fire it, and then I don't even really care anymore, like, what I look like. So, as long as I don't have anything in my teeth, then I'm happy with it. That's the big thing. That is a win. And it's nerve wracking. Like, my first video, I remember talking like a million miles per minute. Like, I was so nervous. You could tell. And it's not that I don't care anymore. It's that I've just become so much more comfortable. And you just gotta expect that people are gonna make judgments on you regardless of what you're gonna do. And that's such a hard thing to overcome, right? But I mean, you're overcoming it, right? You're doing it. And like you said, one day you'll just maybe flip it on. Like you'll just wake up and just be like, oh, here's
Oh yeah. Well, I think too, like, is if you really believe that you are on a path that you're supposed to be on, and you feel called to do this, that, the other thing, whatever it may be, while you're on that path, it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Like, I love the compliments, I love the encouragement that I get. I haven't noticed any people not supporting or hating on it or anything, but I would imagine they're out there. And I don't know, I just stay focused on what's in front of me. I stay in my own lane, and I think that as long as I'm doing something good out here, like I said, it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it.
That's the biggest thing. As long as you're doing the right thing, you're not doing the wrong thing. Is that the quote? Doing the right thing is never the wrong thing. And you're doing the right thing for you, right?
Yeah.
So that's not the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the right quote. It's from Ted Lasso, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Love them.
I love him too. And I'm in real estate, so I get the scrutiny a lot more just because obviously people out there hate real estate agents. Like they hate car salesmen, lawyers, whatever. Like we get that hate, you know. Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You can come on the show anytime.
Yeah.
I'll have you back next week. But you're right. Like you can't let the fear stop you from pursuing something that you're super passionate about, right? And when you feel like what you're doing is aligning with who you are, then it's almost like that fear almost goes away, I find. Yeah.
Or you just do it with the fear.
Or you just do it. Yeah. Just doing it's a big thing. Like just doing it. Like when I started, so I started back, I don't know, last year, getting up early and going to 45. I switched to the earlier classes, like the 5:45 in the morning, which I haven't been doing a couple weeks. So if somebody watching this, they might roast me. Yeah, they're gonna say, Justin, you haven't been in the last 2 weeks, but I went this morning. But I found when I stopped doing it,
Yeah.
actually threw me off. I found I wasn't the same me because I had a whole routine I built around going there, coming home, and then I would journal for 30 minutes and prime my brain basically. Basically, I use these 5 guiding points. First thing I write is today I'm choosing to be positive because I feel like you have to choose to be positive. It's one thing to say it, but you have to make the choice to think positive about things because it is effort. There are some people that are naturally positive people. I'm not one of them, but I'm training it.
Took me a while too.
You get there, right?
Yeah.
And then I write, I'm grateful for everything in my life. Then I list certain things, but I don't just list. I'll say, and then I'll write about why I'm grateful for it to anchor it. And then the next one is I see challenges as an opportunity for growth. And I might talk about a current challenge that I'm growing from or a past one. And then I'll talk, and then it's, I'm capable of incredible things. And then the last one is I take action every single day towards my goals. And each one I just write a few sentences about, right? It takes me about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And I find when I don't do that, my brain isn't primed properly for the day. And I notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's huge. That's huge. That's something I implement into my program. That's one of the first things, especially when it comes to mindset and somebody, is dealing with negative self-talk or just negativity in general. Like the muscles on your body, your brain's a muscle, your mind's a muscle. Journal. And I used to think these things were the most cheesy cliche things out there. These positive affirmations for yourself and positive self-talk. And I would always think to myself, yeah, I'll deal with that later. I got stuff to do right now that needs to be done. But like to really start your day with that, and it's a workout for your mind. And again, it's something I tell my clients all the time. You have to practice these things. When I'm talking to guys that remind me of who I was, like I'll tell them, like, I know it's cliche, I know it's cheesy, but it works. Trust me, I've been doing this for a while, and it's been an absolute game changer. It's been literally life changing to practice these things every day.
Do you have a structure that you follow in your journaling or?
Yeah. So, fortunately, because I've been doing it for a long time now, so my journaling is generally fairly light as far as what I'm writing, but there have been times, in the last couple of years, especially, if I hit a snag in life or a curveball or whatever that, or, something gets flipped upside down or whatever. I went through a time a little while ago where it was actually when I first started making a point to journal, and it was pretty heavy. It was healthy, but it was heavy. I was filling pages with, I call it junk journaling, where you're just unloading your brain. Your brain is, as soon as you wake up, you're thinking about all the things that suck and that are going wrong, and that you don't like, and why'd this happen, why is that happening, what, you just write it down. Just get it all out. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. You're not writing it for anybody. You're not even writing it for yourself to reread. You're just getting it out. So I find doing that, whether your mind is full or light, empty, whatever, do that and write until you stop, until you can't think of anything else to write. Now you've emptied out all the crap or stuff, whatever it might be, and now you've got room to think about what you're grateful for. So my next step is I write 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. If I have the time, I could go all day. Now, there was a time it was like you're really stretching to find a couple of things to be grateful for, but 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for, 3 to 5 affirmations. I'll sit and I'll think about those. I don't necessarily so much write about each one like you do, but I'll think about them for the next 5 to 10 minutes. And so I've woken up, I've emptied my mind, I've filled it back up with things that I'm grateful for, and then I filled it even more with things that I hope for in the near future or far future, and then I start my day with that energy. And it's been life-changing. It's been absolutely wonderful.
It's huge.
Yeah.
That's a great structure. And like when you talk about writing for your future, like the manifestation, I'm a huge believer in manifestation because
Yeah.
I've seen it happen for myself.
Yeah.
Anybody that watched Vince Vaccarella's episode, which I think was a couple episodes before this one will air,
Yeah.
he talks about it.
That was
He's very
great, by
passionate
the
about
way.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it. I like
He takes it very serious. And because it's, when you think about it, and I think anybody, if they think about it in their life, whatever you're thinking about or you want, if you just keep taking the steps towards it, you'll get it. It's not just sitting there thinking, oh, I want this and it'll happen.
Oh, no, you have to put in the work. Like the manifestation is the initial thought, right? There's a ton of work that follows that thought. You're like, nobody's out here just thinking things into existence. Like you have to put in the work. You can think the opportunity into existence, but you want to be doing that daily work as well, so that when that opportunity comes to arise, you're ready for it.
Yeah. It's huge. And you're right. You have to be ready for it, right? Like when it does come to fruition. I like it. I feel like we could talk about this for an hour.
Yeah,
Very
easily.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a huge thing. And, like you said, the junk journaling, because waking up and just getting all that stuff off your mind is important too, because when you wake up, the first thing you're probably doing is going through, I got to do this, I got to do that, or maybe remembering something negative yesterday, or thinking, like, it's just, I don't know, but it's good. I love journals. Yeah. Life-changing, not drink, but you're able to be consistent with journaling now in the morning because you're not drinking. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
See?
I love it.
I love it. Me too. So, circling back into the business again, if you had to go back and give yourself a piece of advice when you first started on the journey of this business, what would that be?
This business.
Okay,
let me go back 20 years. Let me go back to my 20s before everything even started. My advice is for either entrepreneurs or anybody trying to do more for themselves or for other people, is to set boundaries, mainly for yourself. Not even necessarily for other people, but to set boundaries. My main thing, I wouldn't call it a regret because it's a learning lesson, but I went too hard, too fast, and for too long in my 20s. Well, even in my teens, like when I was partying too much, I went from that lifestyle to starting a legitimate business, and I had put my brain and body through the ringer on both accounts. So when I started my last business or second last business, it took off as well. We were very fortunate right from the get-go. And I worked like 16, 18 hours a day and I loved it. I loved every second of it. It didn't feel like work and I just kept going and going and going. My main advice to anybody doing anything like that would be to make sure you make time to rest and to I know a lot of people don't like the word balance, but even if you call it like different seasons, like work your ass off when you need to work your ass off. Nobody could tell me to rest back then. I couldn't tell the next guy just starting a business who's passionate and can't sleep at night because he's so excited about everything he wants to do. He's not going to rest. But do try to find time to rest, to have fun and do things for yourself and not just focus on work all the time. It's I don't know, if you're one of those high functioning entrepreneurs that can do it for your whole life, great. All the power to you. If you're anything like me, I thought I could, and it was too late before I realized that I couldn't. And I spent a lot of years in recovery of all kinds, having to take extra care of myself before I could even think of helping anybody again. So rest and fun, for sure.
I like it. Rest and fun. And that's one thing, like the fact that you've gone through it yourself, you've been through it, being able to pass that on to people. Like I wouldn't want somebody that rents to sell me a home, right? Personally. And it's like, I wouldn't want a life coach or a coach that hasn't been through some ups and downs, right?
To say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, trying to put it in a way, but you know what I mean, right? Like, and it's like to go through it and then come out, it's like, okay, he's speaking from some experience here. Right. And I find that has a lot of weight because you can go to school or whatever, like you can learn these concepts.
Yeah.
But somebody that's actually been through it.
Well, and I was actually, I was talking to a previous painting client of mine and I was telling her about the coaching business. I've just met her through the projects that I've done with her, but I can tell like she's a very intelligent woman. She's very book smart. And so she was happy about this new chapter in my life. And she was asking me, so like, did you go to school for this? Did you take any like psychology, any kind of courses for counseling or whatever? Or are you going mostly on life experience? And I said, life experience for sure. And she, if I make a suggestion, why don't you take some courses? And I said, yeah, like that's always on my radar to learn more and take some courses. And there are going to be people out there, clients that they are going to feel a lot better if I do have some kind of textbook education based on any kind of life coaching, drugs, addiction, whatever. But I know like that goes both ways too. Like with me, back when it was me looking for a counselor or a coach or whatever, okay, that's great. They had their degrees, they had everything, but it's like, okay, but have you blown 10 grams of cocaine up your face on a daily basis for months on end until you almost died? And then lived to tell about it, got through it, and built on top of that and got yourself to a place where you can help other people. So like, of course, those people, those counselors, coaches, whatever, they can help 100%. Right. But for me personally, looking for somebody, I would have chosen somebody who's been there. Right. Somebody that I can relate to better.
And walk the walk, right? Like you've done it. And it's because then people feel like they can connect with you more and maybe even open up more to you because they're like, you know what? They'll understand. He'll get it. Whereas somebody might be shy if they think somebody's, educated, never been through it, they might think that there might be some judgment there. But then when they know your story, if they're like, oh, I'm going through this, and they tell you, then they're like, he's going to get it. He's been there. And you can be like, yeah, I've been there. This is, look at me now.
Yeah. Well, that's what a lot of my content is just like making myself vulnerable. I've countless times over the years, I've had people come up to me and they're like, I thought you just had it all together all the time and things just work out for you so well all the time. And it's like, no, it's been a gauntlet, getting here. So I make myself vulnerable. That unlocks a lot of things for me and the people watching. I've just found it brings down walls, right? Like, especially for men. Like, it's hard for a man to reach out for help. I can't think of anybody beyond me that hates asking for help more than I do. So for me to ask for help, like I need the help real bad and seriously. So I just put myself out there. Hopefully it kind of breaks down some barriers for some guys. And I don't know, just kind of remind people, like, I know for me, like, if I need help with something and I don't know how to fix, I just ask for help. Like, it's easy when it comes to like my truck. Something goes on the engine, I don't know how to fix that. So I call my friend. He's a mechanic. He fixes it for me. That's easy to me. What's hard is like when, especially as a man, you're struggling, you don't want to appear weak to anybody for the most part, publicly or privately, right? Like even to follow my page takes a lot of balls because you're publicly saying like either I support him or I'm with him. And I do it so that, guys can feel comfortable coming to me. And, if you need help with your life, you go to a counselor or a coach or something. And that's a lot harder for guys to do. So I do my best to create some kind of like a safe place for them to at least talk about it. Even if they don't jump on board with the program, like come talk about it. We'll, let's get a conversation going, see if we can help you that way.
Mm-hmm. And you're right. For men, so hard to open up about stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Like even since I stopped, because I used to be a bit of a weapon, and I used to like to put them back. And even when I stopped, I started having people come to me and just talking to me about it because then they felt comfortable, to talk about it. But it is hard for somebody to ask for help, men especially. And I think like journaling, I think could be not a first step, but a step in helping that, because then it's just you and the journal.
Yeah.
Right. You can at least get a lot out of there. But then it's like, okay, once you've put those thoughts out there, the thing the journal can't do is give you guidance if you're looking for the guidance, I guess. Right. So yeah, no, I love what you're doing. Very admirable. But we're running out of time on this episode. So I do appreciate you coming on. We will have to do a part 2 in the future. I love this. I could talk about this kind of stuff all day. This is like my favorite. If I won the lottery, what would I do? I know I'm supposed to say it would be, I'd love to sell residential real estate. I would love to just sit and just interview people all day long. I love it. Like cool people with great stories.
I love that you do this. I really appreciate that you do this. Like for me, for everybody that you got coming on here and that you talk to, I love it. I love seeing it.
Oh, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. It means a lot.
All right.
So thanks for coming on again.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked what you heard today, you can click the video that's popped up on your screen. It's going to take you to last week's episode. Until next time, take care.